Good afternoon, one and all, and welcome to On Point for today, the 4th day of August 2023. My name is Alexis Jeffers, and of course, it is my pleasure to be here this afternoon. And indeed, I normally would shout up all who would have joined us for this program, meaning persons here on the island of Nevis, on the island of St. Kitts and throughout the entire Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, of course. Indeed, Statia, Sabre, French and Dutch St. Martin, Puerto Rico, the whole of the United States, from the East Coast all the way over to the West Coast. Of course, you have different time of the day there. And indeed, we have listeners over there in Canada as well. Indeed, if we go up to Europe, for sure, throughout the entire continent of Europe, we have persons who follow us, especially there in the United Kingdom. And indeed, I want to say good morning to folks over there in Asia. We have students and persons from St. Kitts and Nevis who are there in Taiwan, or the Republic of China, Taiwan as well, studying, visiting, or working there also. So I want to say good morning to those of you who have joined us very early there, that is. But indeed, coming back home, it is good to be alive and well on the island of Nevis today. Today is a very nice day out there. The sun is hot, yes, but it is a good Nevision day where we had some rain earlier and overnight as well. And of course, the sun is out there shining its all its glory. But indeed, it is bearable, because persons are up and about and doing what they must do around this time. This is Culturama time, and if you want to go down to the Malcolm Gishard Recreational Park, you will see there's an event being held there by the Department of Agriculture. It's called Fruit Festival. And of course, they have a number of activities that is wrapped up in that particular major event today. So I want us all to go down and savor what is being offered and what is being done there. There'll be some competition as well. I believe watermelon eating competition, also honeydew mango eating competition, all kind of competitions, cake making, and there'll be some excellent prizes to be won down there. So go down and support that event. That is a part of our Culturama 49 2023. Indeed, later this evening as well, there is the Senior Calypso show. That should be fun, and I'm inviting one and all to go and support as well. Tomorrow, though, would be the big event down there at the Malcolm Gishard Recreational Park again, which is the annual food fair. That is always a huge event, and we have persons coming from all over the Caribbean to support that event, to savor some of the food that we prepare and sell here on the island of Nevis. Nevision dishes will be on sale and on display down there. And then later on in the evening, we will have up at the Cultural Village the Wet Fete. That is for the young and young at heart who want to go out there and jump up and have fun. Indeed, on Sunday you have drag racing, and then in the evening, of course, is a major show. That is the Miss Culture Queen pageant. That should be exciting as well. Some young, lovely young ladies, that is, are competing in that particular show. And then, of course, we move into Monday. That is a huge day on the island of Nevis. Of course, it is Juve morning. You have the long jam from Gingerland into Charlestown, jamming around Charlestown, and when you're finished jamming by midday, all roads lead to Herbert Beach, which is up there in the north, in the constituency of the parish of St. James. I will speak a little bit more about that, because part of me being here today is really to remind persons and to tell you what will happen over there on Monday, the 7th, that is August Monday. And then, of course, you move into Tuesday, we will witness parade through the streets of Charlestown, which is our parade, Troop and Parade Day. That is what they call it. All of the colors that you're looking for, all of the ladies who have been toning up their bodies and ready to go to Charlestown. Listen, some people have some difficulties with these things, but I would say we are living in modern times, and of course modern people do modern things. I may have my disagreements with certain things. You may have your disagreement, but persons want to go out and have fun. And the interesting thing, sometimes we criticize and complain, but we just don't get involved. So who who are we to criticize when we don't get involved? But there are persons who are willing to get involved, and they have their particular standards that they will try to maintain, because even though they're there in whatever outfit, then the next day they're back to being their regular citizens and professional citizens too. Some of them teach, work in the banks, work all over the island of Nevis, and they go back to their normal life. So it's Culturama time, and sometimes you let your hair down even though you have a bald head. What that means is that whatever it takes, go out and have fun, but clean fun and be safe about it. And keep in mind, we want to have you after Culturama to continue to contribute to the development of the island of Nevis. So whatever you do, stay safe and be safe. And while you're here on the island, visitors, that is, visitors and returning nationals. Listen, I said it last week. While you're here, go on out and enjoy everything that this island has to offer. If you have any doubts about what has been happening here over the last year, the last 2 years, the last 5 years, since you've last come, I don't know when last, some of you may have come, but if you've been here last year, then you want to see what has happened over the last 12 months. If you've been here last time, say about 3 years ago, then you will see what has transpired. But take a drive around Nevis. Go to the length and breadth of Nevis and see what has taken place here on the island of Nevis. One thing I can tell you is that you'll hear some angry persons on radio, on certain radio stations, saying all the things that they claim are wrong with the island of Nevis. And I beg to differ, and you will differ as well too. You will see the truth when you drive around. And of course, they're angry because, one, you're here now to see what the reality is and what the truth is. And you're here because some of you may have come in during the last election in December and decided there is no need to change a government, because the government being run by the Honorable Mark Brantley, or headed by the Honorable Mark Brantley, is doing an excellent job to ensure the island of Nevis continue to move forward and progress as a young developing island. And I know there are good things happening here that you'll see. If you hear roads are bad in Nevis, just drive the island main road throughout the island of Nevis, that is. You can start in Charlestown, head up north, and go around the entire island of Nevis, and you'll see how wonderful the surface of the road is. Of course, there are some bad roads, which we will be paying some attention to immediately after the Culturama activities. I speak of the Stuart Williams Drive. That is what we call the Pump Road. Some preparations have been done to get that road done in short order after Culturama. Of course, we know we have to get up to Fountain, Mount Lily, Camps Road. Those roads will be done. But they are passable, they're drivable, and of course I drive them all the time in an old 16-year-old Jeep, and my Jeep still feel good on those roads. As a matter of fact, it feels brand new when I hit that road from Cotton Ground towards Newcastle as well too. So I tell you, go out and look. Go to the Mundo track, the same track that this government, the CCM, would have constructed to promote the, what should I say, to get our young people more involved in athletics. And the track is being used almost every day by not only the young, but the young at heart, meaning persons who are older who go there sometimes to exercise or whatever the case might be. Remember the days when the students used to run down there in the E.T. Willett Park and grass? Now they're running on a track called a Mundo track. And of course you'll hear that it's not completed yet because there are no stands. Of course, those would come, but the bottom line is the surface is world class. And I think because of that, we have had some exploits by our young people, not only locally, but regionally and internationally. So, of course, that is playing its role. And when you go down to the Wally Water Taxi facility, you'll hear, oh, the pier is not done. But some of you came in and walked right on that pier. And when you disembark and came up to the island's main road, you see what a transformation this island has gone through since you last came. And not only that, you'll hear them talk about water. Of course, we are having our challenges. Well, climate change, well, I'll say, climate change is impacting every country and every square inch of the globe right now. We are no different to the United States. We are no different to Europe. We are no different to Asia. Hurricanes and typhoon are all over the world. and water shortages all over the world. There are some countries that are having flood conditions at this time. So there are different conditions that exist in different countries. But I must say that we have done an excellent job in managing the water resource that we have here on the island of Nevis. It goes off in the evening, yes, but it's available to you during the day. And as a matter of fact, as soon as we get a few more showers, I'm sure that situation will be rectified. But this is the thing that the NRP will not tell you as a visitor or tell anyone when they speak, is that they are the ones who engaged a company some years ago, over 10 years ago, and said they received a proposal for $6 million to develop 2 wells to produce 1 million gallons of water per day. As a matter of fact, I'll say to you, and I'll be 100% correct in saying, we have never received from that company 1 million gallons of water per day. We've never received 1 million gallons of water per day, but we were paying for 1 million gallons of water. But they won't tell you that. What they did, they went and gave that company a contract for 10 years. And that company made almost $30 million over those 10 years. And I say to you who are visiting, if those almost $30 million was turned into some wells, we would have gotten an extra 10 wells at $3 million per well. So they wouldn't tell you these things because that is the truth, and they don't want you to hear the truth. They won't tell you about Nevlec as well. When they left it there in shambles, didn't invest 1 cent in Nevlec. From 2000 until 2013, not 1 cent was invested to ensure that Nevlec continued to produce electricity at an optimum level here on the island of Nevis. The Concerned Citizens Movement invested in 2000, and we came back and invested again in 2016 and again in 2017, 18 thereabout. Or recently we bought a brand new engine. So 3 brand new engines were bought by the Concerned Citizens Movement in government, and NRP didn't buy 1. So when I hear them, oh, they're angry and say nothing happening and criticizing the Concerned Citizens Movement, the infrastructure of this island is largely as a result of the work done by the Concerned Citizens Movement, whether it's Charlestown Pier, Long Point Pier, and then again, you hear them criticize the airport, say it's dead? It's dead, yes, because the airport need upgrading. They're the ones who have said that so long as Van Samry's name is on it, it will never see any upgrade under the NRP. And I'm telling you the truth, they said it. They said it. Once that name remains on it, they'll do nothing about it. Well, we have said that we are going to come along shortly and report to the Nevision public, because the last time any upgrade was done on that airport was way back in, I believe, 2002 or 2003 thereabout. Way back then, it was done to accommodate the American Eagle. That was a turboprop engine plane that was coming out of Puerto Rico. Those are no longer being flown. So we are now going to upgrade to accommodate more modern equipment, more modern jets. So I say all that to say this. A lot of what you've been hearing, you're now here on the island. The people on the island of Nevis who live here have already experienced all of this development. And you know what? The reason why they're getting so angry on the other side is because even people in Nevis who live here understand the lies that have been told, all of the negative things that have been spewed by the other side. And we live here, so we know they're lying. And that is why they realize that those lies can no longer find traction. You won't hear them talk about Cherry Garden, where they did a bomb job over there. One of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen in terms of a development. We have gone back in there as a government and have rectified over 41 and counting sewage systems. It was becoming an unhealthy situation over there. We spent almost $300,000 rectifying those sewage systems. But you won't hear them say that. You won't hear them say that they stockpiled some houses over there just because they wanted to get votes. And when it was all said and done, you had persons over there who were unable to pay for those houses. We came into government and we said we want everyone in Cherry Garden who got houses under the NRP to be rightful owners of their homes. So what we did, we offered persons who were interested in doing so and who wanted to become bankable, we said we'll take 15% off of the balance that you have on the books there at the NHLDC. 15%. We'll pay all of the legal fees. We'll pay all of the necessary fees that would be incurred to transfer that mortgage from the NHLDC to a lending institution here on the island of Nevis. We did that. I believe almost 30-something persons would have benefited. And as such, those persons would have become instant home owners. Now, they don't own it to the extent that they've paid off for it, but their names are now on those titles over there. And those who haven't taken advantage as yet, of course, you're paying rent, and that is the long and the short. The property is still the property of the NHLDC. And we are still encouraging persons who can take advantage. Go ahead and take advantage. We are rectifying a situation where the NRP would have turned poor people into paupers over there. Now we are making them respectable homeowners there in Cherry Gardens. And we had a program recently as well where we built houses over in Cedar View, in Madden's estate. I want you to take a drive over there. All of those houses, not one problem is being reported by anyone over there. We have had some issues, yes, but simple issues that were rectified. Sewage problems, no. Septic problems, no. Cracking of walls, no. Whatever little issues were there, they were taken care of. You go down to Cohoon, second phase, brand new phase with new roads and everything. Just drive up and down Nevis. And when you see these so-called, quote-unquote, affordable income houses, you have to say those are not affordable income houses. Those are middle to upper middle income houses. Middle to upper middle income houses. Because persons come from St. Kitts, persons come from the Virgin Islands, persons come from even Barbados, Jamaica, wherever they come from, and see these houses. They make the comparison, and all of them have come to one conclusion. The best affordable income houses, or the best affordable income housing developments, can be found on the island of Nevis. And that is the truth. And I speak that way because I am proud of the work that the Concerned Citizens Movement would have done. That mandate was given to the Concerned Citizens Movement, and we have taken on that mandate and have gone ahead and made sure that when you come back to Nevis to visit Nevis, your homeland, you will be proud of what you meet. And I'm sure many of you are beaming with pride right now as you drive around the island of Nevis. Don't let anybody fool you. See for yourself. Go down to Indian Castle. Go down to the fruit orchard, and you'll see a variety of fruit trees down there. Beautiful development. One that was done to ensure that we can have some food security and sovereignty here on the island of Nevis. We import a lot of jelly from different parts of the OECS. But we are saying that we have soil here in Nevis that can be productive, and we've gone about planting, and we're going to plant more. So there'll be more planted down there. And so I want to say to you, welcome home, and welcome to your island, the island that you were born in, the island that you have pride in. Because if something were to happen in the United States, in England, and you have to go home, there's one place you're coming, and that is to Nevis. And you want to ensure that when you're coming home, you're coming to an island that you know you would want to live in comfortably, and an island where you know that you'll be always welcome because here is where you were born. So enjoy your time here, and while you're here as well, see in which way you can invest in your island. An investment can mean even getting an affordable income home, buying a piece of land. You can see an opportunity in some small business, whatever it is. If you have some disposable funds and you want to ensure that you're putting it to good use, find something to do here on the island of Nevis with those funds. The opportunities are there. And of course, the island will be better off as a result. And I told you already, some of the people who you hear talking, they don't have a thing going for them on the island of Nevis. So they come every week, and the same old negativity, negative talk, negative thinking, negative vibes, negative. But we're here to give you the positive side of things, because when you listen to them, you will think that the sky is falling. But the sky is very much where it is, and the island is very much heading in the direction where it should go. and that is to prosperity here on the island of Nevis. I know it will be a difficult road. Nothing comes easy, but when it's all said and done, all shoulders to the plow, and we'll certainly get it done. And we're getting it done, of course. Yes. So that takes care of that. Welcome home. All of the things you've heard, go and examine. And I wrap up there and leave it as that. But ladies and gentlemen, I said earlier that we're in the middle of Culturama. This is what you call Culturama weekend. So there are a lot of activities that will be happening that I just outlined. But one of the things that I have been intimately involved in since 2003, when I returned to the island of Nevis, is the Herbert Beach affair. And you know that is my contribution every year for the last 20 years. And I say that because when it's all said and done, if I don't get to any shows, any of the shows leading up to the big weekend, or any of the shows over the big weekend, you can find me at Herbert Beach, putting the infrastructure in place to ensure that we have a wonderful Herbert Beach affair every year. Mark you, we've had our challenges, we've had our difficulties, but when you are willing and you have the temperament to get something done, no challenge can dissuade you. And we haven't been dissuaded in any way. We have pressed on over there, and we've had some wonderful events. This year is anticipated to be just as good as any other. And so on Monday, we start at 12 midday. And we go down to 12 midnight. Some people have said before that they want to go from 12 to 12 until 12. But you know, people are cranking out at midnight, so we had to stop it there. Perhaps next day, I'm not looking ahead, but perhaps next day we might think about going down and having a breakfast over there the following day, which is the Tuesday. But anyway, that's down the road. We'll figure that out. But for this year, we are saying that we're bringing back the greasy pole this year. We're having bouncing castle for the young children who will be there. We'll also have all of the booths selling all of the food and drinks that you're accustomed to. The local food, you go to water, Conk's water, cook up, saltfish and Johnny cake, fry fish. Oh man, I'm already getting hungry. But that's where you'll come when you're hungry as well too on August Monday to savor some of the food that will be over there. So we'll have food from 12 midday all the way down to 12 midnight. The folks who have their booths are telling me that they're priming up and ready to go. So they'll prepare for you. When you come hungry, they'll have your food. We'll have smoothies over there as well too. There'll be a smoothie booth. What else? Anything that you want. Place will be hot, so water will be over there. I'm sure jelly water as well too. So we normally have something for everyone over there at Herbert Beach. Some people will be selling from booth. Some people will be selling from the back of their vehicle. Some people will be selling from their trays. People will be there selling. So you'll have something to purchase and something to savor. Of course, from the entertainment side of it, we'll have the Regal Band. You'll have Grandmasters and the Smolaks Band. You'll have DJ Lalbo, you'll have DJ Zimba, you'll have DJ Wet Nut, and any other DJ that comes on the stage that want to, as they say, quote unquote, show themselves, they can come, because the stage will be open for one and all. We're there for quite a long period of time, so anyone can come and, you know, show us what they're made up of, show us their capabilities. In terms of how the day would go, of course you have music. We have said that we will have a bingo on that evening. This is the first time, but the reason why we're having this bingo is because persons come and they spend money, they make money as well, and we're saying, if you come, we want you to make some money also. By buying a bingo card, you can make up to, or you can win up to $10,000. We have 3 games. First game will be somewhere between the time of 7 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. That's the first game, $2,500. Thereafter, by about 9 o'clock, we'll have another game. And then the third game, which will be $5,000, will be drawn sometime after 9 p.m. I'm giving you these time slots because we're trying our very best to fit into those time slots, because when it's all said and done, the final act to come on the stage will be Grandmasters, and they will take us down to midnight. So we have one game at $2,500, the next at $2,500, and then the final game $5,000. You buy a ticket or card, a bingo card, for $100, and that $100 will cover you for the 3 games. So you can't ask for a better bargain than that. There have been time in the past when persons will sell you $100 card for each game, and perhaps that is a wise thing for some. But for us, we are saying we are asking you to purchase 1 card at $100, and that will cover you for 3 games. But also, I say 1 card costs that, but you can actually buy multiple cards. You can buy 10 cards for that matter, because if you invest $1,000, you'll possibly win 10,000. That's a good bargain. When you win that money, put it to good use. You can get a whole week at 4 Seasons. You can get all of the trips you want throughout the world. You can pay for the trip that you came down here if you're a visitor. You can put a down payment on a piece of land. Listen, those funds can be used for almost every and anything. $10,000 is at stake. So I want you to come and participate in that. Those of you who haven't come to Herbert Beach for a long time, that is a good and excellent reason to come. The entrance is free. You drive down the road and you find somewhere to park, and you come down and enjoy the music and the food and enjoy the bingo. Free of cost. So that is where you'll come, and I said the entire family is welcome, and you can bring your armchair, your wheelchair, you can bring your Morris chair. Some of you know what a Morris chair look like. You can bring your beach chair, you can bring your lawn chair, whatever chair you want to bring. If you just want to sit and listen to music, eat some food, drink something, just come and relax. If you want to get up out of your chair and dance, you can do that as well, because the music will be hot and spicy. So you come and enjoy that as well too. So what I'll do now is just play, for example, the jingle from the Herbert Beach Affair that we've been playing every year. We have 2 of them. We'll play one now. And I believe the DJ might be ready for me. Okay, the DJ, let's hear our jingle to pep us up. DJ fingers are slow.
Yes, me Miss Culturama in a blast down with a backsman, baby. Yes. Small expand taking you there. Ding 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 day. I want you to follow me to lovely Queen City. And when we get there, we take you to the Herbert Beach up there. Of course, it's just so they have a culture display. There is lots of things to do, make our dreams come true. We go in 36 hours of pure fun. And if you can't take the jam, boy, please don't come. We going from 12 to 12 until 12. From 12 to 12 until 12. I want to take you there to the Herbert Beach up there. From 12 to 12 until 12. From 12 to 12 until 12. From 12 to 12 until 12. Small as mom will be where? At the Herbert Beach up there. From 12 to 12 until 12. Lord, I think you do that. Hey, light, touch your time. We jam me for culture. I like that. If you come from SKB to the one Virgin Island, the USA or Europe, you will like our style. For me, they will start the boat in waste meat. Culture, food and drink, all that you can eat. And when they're night rolling, music so sweet, you must find a Yankee chick to sweep you off your feet. From 12 to 12 until 12. From 12 to 12 until 12. Lots of ladies will be there at the Herbert Beach up there. From 12 to 12 until 12. From 12 to 12 until 12. Yes! From 12 to 12 until 12. The horse will be where? At the Herbert matter what the dish, all they asking for is a fish. With lots of local drinks, you better help yourself. Cause for those who looking help, some for wheeler on the shelf. When the jamming come to an end, come back again. The party's so sweet, it's the good friends meet. From 12 to 12 until 12. From 12 to 12 until 12. Even the general will be there, and the Herbert Beach up there. From 12 to 12 until 12. From 12 to 12 until 12. From 12 to 12 until 12. They go see the swimming where at the Herbert Beach up there. From 12 to 12 until 12. Smallest swimming where at the Herbert Beach up there. From 12 to 12 until 12. The powerhouse swimming where at the Herbert Beach up there. From 12 to 12 until 12. Lashing down with the where at the Herbert Beach up there. From 12 to 12 until 12. Crab and dumpling the where at the Herbert Beach up there. From 12 to 12 until 12.
Okay, thank you very much, DJ. And of course, it says from 12 to 12 until 12. This time we're doing 12 to 12. But at some point we may have to reconsider. But the bottom line is that song gives you a sense as to what goes on at Herbert Beach. You get that flavor over there that the song has been, expressing to us over the years, because we have been playing it for a number of years. But Herbert Beach couldn't happen unless a number of persons and a number of entities come on board to make it happen. So, first of all, I want to thank Von Radio, the Caribbean's powerhouse, for always ensuring that the promotion of this event is done. The management here, Mr. Herbert, and all of the persons who work here, the entire team that come together to ensure that Herbert Beach gets the promotion that it deserves. I also want to thank those who come on board every year. For example, Mr. Burley Walwyn, I start with him because he is the electrical engineer. Burley is the one who goes and put up all of these lights. When you come over there, you'll see some bright lights. Those are the spotlights to make sure that we have that level of security. And then, of course, you'll see the pretty lights, those multicolored lights, and also the buntings, which are those pretty flags. You know, we go all out over there to make sure that you get that feel and that sense. There was a point in time we used to have lights and flags going all the way up to the main entrance, but these days with limited funds we have curtails, so down in the bottom will look pretty when you get there. We're doing that work over the next couple of days, yeah. And of course he works along with Davian Claxton, Davian Claxton or Fraser. Well, Davian, he has this truck that he goes around, bucket truck. He's an electrician as well. He and his team will come and lend support to Burley Walwyn and ensure that we have proper electricity over there. Of course, we always get assistance from the Nevis Water Department, the NIA, NHLDC, NEVLEC. All those entities come on board to make sure that the premier festival or event of the festival is taken care of as well. I want to thank the entrepreneurs who own this particular company, Grandsons and Equipment Services. That is George Chapman, a gentleman we call Botai, and his brother there, Asim. Well, Asim would have spent some time there cleaning up the parking areas and doing some work on the road heading down to Herbert Beach. I want to thank them for their services done free of cost, and that is persons are giving back to their community, and I want to thank them. So when people give back to their community, I want you to go out and support them. I said that before many a times here on this program, and I'm saying it again, that we should lend support to those who are willing to come out and offer up their services for free. I want to thank them for their efforts down there. Also, the Nevis Solid Waste Management Authority, Mr. Andrew Hendrickson, and also Latoya, they ensure that we have bins down there to collect the garbage or the waste material and so forth. So they come on board each year. Also, One Coco, he ensured that we have those portable toilets down there on site. So Elson and One Coco, I want to thank you in advance. In terms of the greasy pole, I did say that we are bringing back the greasy pole, and two of our friends there in Brick Hill who would normally help in many ways have determined that this time they're coming on board to ensure the greasy pole is back on track. So Vaughn Fraser and I sometimes try to remember this gentleman's name, but he named Monkey. And he wants us to call him Monkey. So Monkey and Vaughn, they are responsible for the greasy pole, so they're going to ensure that that is in place. And the items that will be used on the greasy pole, such as whole chicken and whole ham and other beverages, will be on the greasy pole for the young men and even young ladies who want to take up the challenge to capture or to win. Those are going to be presented to us or made available to us by Nevis Food Center. So I want to thank the manager of the Nevis Food Center, Ira Martin, and of course the owner, Mr. David Kawaja, for their assistance in that regard. Indeed, we have to thank Island Water Sports. They will be providing some transportation as well for the bands and so forth. So thank you very much, Captain Perkins and your team. And of course, the transportation, the official transportation that we would use to move the band members and so forth will be done by Lewigo. We say Lewigo of Lewigo Bus Services. Everybody know Lewigo. From over there in the country area, over in the Newcastle area. So he normally takes care of that. I want to thank all of the boat owners for coming on board as well. They normally would come every year. Some are perennial boat owners, and then of course we get one or two new boat owners annually. But by and large, we have persons coming back time and time again. And the reason why I have to thank them is because without their presence, there is no Herbert Beach. Because if someone drives down there and nothing is there to eat, they turn right around and go and find it elsewhere. So these are the persons who keep you coming and who keep you there to ensure that they make something and your hunger is eliminated as well. So thank you to all of the boat operators. Also, I want to thank some persons who have come on board this year. Mr. Amoy Nisbet, Terran Blues Wallace, also Dian Ward. I want to thank also Clive Evelyn. Let me say Clive Booger. Everybody know Booger of Evelyn's Construction. He provided me with a 5-gallon bucket of grease. Thank you very much, Booger. You're a lifesaver. I got that from him. I think it was yesterday or the day before yesterday. Thank you very much. And also Carl Tyson. Let me thank Carl for providing us with the stage, a professional stage with lighting and everything. He has been coming for the past couple of years, and I want to thank you very much, Carl. You and your team would come and you would seamlessly put up this stage and lights, camera, action, and it's down the road we go. Rodney Elliott, she provides a tent on an annual basis. We have to pay her, but I still have to thank her because there's some effort being exerted to bring the tents there, put them up, and come back for them. And we pay them for that, yes, but the service is what we appreciate in terms of coming there and ensuring that the booths are covered, and then there are additional tents for persons to stand under in the event of rain or with this hot sun. There is some shelter. So Rodney Elliott and your tent rental services, thank you very much. And there are some sponsors who normally will come on board every year, but I haven't heard from them to this point. So I'm saying to you, if your name hasn't been called as yet and you're normally a contributor to this event, we're still waiting for you. And I'm going to call one, for example, Carrie Breweries. They normally come on board with tents and different paraphernalias like flags to beautify the area. I haven't heard from Carrie Breweries, but if you are listening, I spoke to Mark Wilkin, I believe it was on Wednesday, I think. Wednesday, yes. And so I'm hoping that he's hearing me and he would speak to the right people to come on board and provide us with something. Any additional sponsors who have come on board in the past and your name hasn't been called, I want you to give me a call. There's still room for you. We want to make sure once we put on a show down there, it is a fabulous show. And it is done so through your effort and our effort. So it's a collective effort on the part of all of us to make sure that this event is a success. And indeed that it has been over the last 24 years. 24 years from since 1997, this event has been held. And as I said before, we have had our challenges, but we have stuck with it and we'll continue with it for as long as it takes, because people do look forward to this event. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe there is another jingle that I had lined up because, you know, I'm trying to get the feelings and the atmosphere right for that event on Monday, and it will indeed be, you know, just as good as any other year. So I want you to understand that what we are doing here today is to give you a taste of what is to come. So DJ, you have something lined up already? Okay.
The piece of the thing inside it.
Yo, King Nico!
Eh?
I want you to drum them hard this year, pop!
Get it! Small like spot. Nico! Drop! Some rebel jamming last year, Juve. They said the culture ain't much fun. They lie. Years ago they used to break away when soul survivors coming down. Get it. They say all the cultural flavor disappear from the Culturama. The festival is sweet, no more. On the street there's no folklore. So I ask them, if there's a problem, how come so much people calling more, giving more? Everybody shouting for encore. Yes, 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 yes. I'm over Herbert and the playground, spinning the children round and round. And at the end of the day when the show is done, everyone will have lots of fun. Oh God, cause I'm 40 and I'm jolly. I'm 40, I'm full of energy. 40, 40, 40, 40. 40, 40, 40, 40. So come join the bacchanal. Herbert Beach bacchanal. All them street bacchanal. In the heat bacchanal. So come join the bacchanal. From Radio bacchanal. The Kaiso bacchanal. The Queen Show bacchanal. Oh, get on, get on, get on, get on. Get on, get on, get on, get on. It's an endless action. The whole I leave is broken. Get it. Give me, give me, give me. It's 40 years of Culturama. Plenty fun, like plenty fun. Get it. Action type setting all over, with Casanova coming down. With all them babies and women, it's trouble in the lamb jam. Plenty bottom in your face. Hit in the place. So come party, we making 40. Lego in the pan, and get on, wassy. Bacchanal in Queen City. Yes, 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 yes. Two parties in long 19. Gyrating on Eulalie. I'm Titolo and from Cotton Grove. And in the parade upside down. I'm 40, and a jolly. I'm 40, a full activity. A 40, 40, 40, 40. A 40, 40, 40, 40. So come join the bacchanal. Herbert Beach bacchanal. The swimwear bacchanal. The food fair bacchanal. Come join the bacchanal. Juve bacchanal. The breakaway bacchanal. The all day bacchanal. Get on, get on, get on, get on. Get on, get on, get on, get on. Yeah, Miss Juve morning. The whole I need is jumping. Get it. Small axe and me come. Mother. This one, rough. I'm 40, I'm full of energy. I'm 40, 40, 40, 40. I'm 40, 40, 40, 40. So come join the bacchanal, Mr. Cool Bacchanal, all them school bacchanal, the teenage bacchanal. So come join the bacchanal, cool down bacchanal, you welcome bacchanal. Oh, come, get on, get on, get on, get on. Get on, get on, get on, get on. Bring no fight in the jam. You want a peaceful session. Bring no fight in the jam. You want a peaceful session.
Well, they say Culturama is sweet, but when I listen to that, I say, well, I just take it to another level just now. That song sweet. That was from 2014, I believe, when we celebrated our 40th anniversary of Culturama. So that was Small Axe Band and King Miko. And of course, when you listen to that, that should give you some added energy to get up and get out. You see, Culturama can only be good if we make it good. Meaning, you get up, get out, and enjoy yourself. Without people, there is no Culturama, and that is the bottom line. So everyone have a role to play in terms of making sure Culturama is as good as it should be. I want to, at this point, still thanking persons. I almost forgot to thank Officer Pemberton up there at the prison farm, way up there in Madden's estate. I want to thank him and the inmates who have come down and done some cleaning down at the site sometime last week. Every year they would come and give us a hand in terms of cleaning up, cutting some of those smaller trees and so forth, and I want to thank them for their effort. Of course, Winky, if you're hearing me, you're over there in camps. If you're hearing me, you have some additional work down there to do to trim some of those trees around where the booths will be erected. Now there's some grape trees down there, and I I thought we would have had some ripe grapes for persons who would come down for the event, but the grapes are still green. I don't know if anyone eat green grapes, you know. Not me for sure, but it's a pity because that would have been the crowning moment where you can go with your funnel, as we say. You know, you normally pick a piece of grape the leaf itself and fold it in such a way like a funnel. Then you go to those grapes and pick, and you walk around with that and munch on your grapes, you know. But this time around, unfortunately, unless you're going to come back in short order when they start ripening, come back to Nevis to get some. Well, I don't think you'll get any this time around. But anyway, that should be no reason for you not to come. That being said, Winky, you have some work down there to do. And of course, our dearly departed good friend Prende. You know, Prende normally would be down there in the past with his roast potato and roast sprat and that kind of thing. No one has continued that tradition, but I believe some guys from Brick Hill said they'll be cooking a pot of something. Bullhead, bullfoot, something. I don't know what they're going to cook. Whatever they cook, I want some though. And whoever is there might get some too. But there'll be lots of fun down there on Monday. And indeed, we look forward to that. I want to also say, and I've said it before, and I want to remind the general public that if it was not for the efforts of the Nevis Island administration being managed by the Concerned Citizens Movement, those lands that we now have fun and frolic and recreation on would have been gone if we were not as astute as we are and as observant to the process, because those lands they were almost sold right from under our nose. So we were able to acquire those lands in 2017. We were able to acquire those lands, and I've said to the administration we have to find something meaningful to do with those lands. Those are plans I will not discuss here because those are in the process of being executed, I'm sure. But we'll have to find something meaningful to do with those lands. They were acquired for public use, so at least we have to make sure that it is done consistent with what the acquisition, the reason for the acquisition was. So those are plans we'll work on. But every time you go down to Herbert Beach, just about 14 acres of lands, they belong to the people of Nevis. Every single person here on the island of Nevis own those lands. But they've been managed by the Nevis Island Administration, of course. And I'm so happy that we were able to do what was necessary, because you know what could have happened? If we didn't acquire those lands and they were sold, then of course there would have never been another Herbert Beach event, because whoever was in the process of negotiating to purchase those lands, they would have fenced them up, fence out the whole of Nevis, fence out us as nationals and Nevisians, yeah? And I'm so glad that we were able to be proactive. Well, I was the Minister of Lands then. I'll take some credit. I don't have to do that, but I'll take it anyway, because it was through my efforts that I approached the cabinet of the Nevis Island Administration and indicated that these lands are valuable lands for the people of Nevis. Not only the people of Nevis, for anyone who comes here, visitors alike, who go down there and take a sea bath. You know, so they're there. And I spoke about some grape just now. Anyone can come from anywhere on the island of Nevis and go down there when they start to ripe and pick as much as you want. Walk and drive and pick as much as you want. It's up to you, because they are your lands. And that is why I am proud, as the former representative of St. James at the time, but also the former Minister of Agriculture and Lands, under whose responsibility these efforts fall or fell then. So I am proud of what we would have done, and I'm happy that we were able to procure those lands. My understanding is that there were so many plans afoot to build up condos and all kind of things down there if the government had changed in December. Well, thank God that didn't happen. And thank God we are still in government to ensure that we can do something meaningful with those lands. That being said, the last half an hour of this show was all about Herbert Beach. And of course, like I said, we start down there at 12 midday, go down to 12 midnight. You'll have entertainment all day. From midday, the DJ starts, and then we'll have bands that come in accordingly, meaning Regal Band will start playing around 4:35, and then we'll have our bingo, the first game, at about 7:30. Then we'll have Small Axe Band thereafter, and then after Small Axe Band we'll have the additional 2 games, and then once we're done with those, then we go down to midnight with the Grandmasters Band. So there will be entertainment during the day. Like I said, we'll have the Greasy Pole, and then thereafter, well, in the interim we'll also have Bouncing Castle and any other form of activities that persons would bring along. We were hoping to have dominoes down there. I'm sure there'll be dominoes as well. Mr. Brantley, Ray Brantley was trying to organize that as well, so I'll find out from him if he have that taken care of. And once that is done, of course, that will be for the domino enthusiasts who would come down there and play domino throughout the afternoon, evening. So we'll make preparation for that once that is the case. I am certain there'll be something for every single person. So come on down in your numbers. Last year we had, I believe, about 5,000 persons. We like to see that same amount this time around. And indeed, it will be fun. Now, I will close out soon with that same first jingle that I had, because I want to keep the vibes going. As a matter of fact, listen, there's hardly much more to say other than to welcome everyone to Herbert Beach on Monday, the 7th of August, 12 noon to 12 midnight. And those same 2 jingles you heard, we can play them again, because of course this is the last time I'll come here before Monday to speak about Herbert Beach. You'll hear about it as the different persons on the airwaves who will be having something to say at these various shows, or whoever would be on the microphone. Even Juve Money, you'll hear the guys on the microphone say, well, the next place to head to is Herbert Beach. So they'll do their thing. But from this particular station, I'm here now, and I'll just use up the rest of the time that is available to me to just go ahead and play those 2 songs. Even if you go piece and piece or half and half, DJ, you'll do it as you see fit. But I want to wrap up by saying thank you for listening on Point today. This is not about politics today. I'd love to talk politics, but it's not about politics. It's about setting the mood and setting the tone for the weekend to come, and to ensure that we continue to enjoy Culturama and what's left of it. There are lots of events still on the card to be executed over the next couple of days. So I want us to enjoy. Welcome home, everyone. I'll be here, there, and everywhere. Wherever I meet you, I'll greet you and also welcome you as well. So, DJ, I'll close out with those two jingles. Half and half. You have a few minutes. You can use the time playing those songs. Thank you very much. And thanks for listening as well. May God bless us all and let us have a safe Culturama, rest of Culturama. And then, of course, we'll be back around to continue with the development of this beautiful island of ours. Thank you very much.
Baby, yes, small expand taking you there. Ding 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 ding. I want you to follow me to lovely Queen City. And when we get there, we take you to the Herbert Beach up there. Of course, it's just so they have a culture display. There is lots of things to do, make our dreams come true. We go in 36 hours of pure fun. And if you can take the jam, boy, please don't come. We going from 12 to 12 until 12. From 12 to 12 until 12. I want to take you there to the Herbert Beach up there. From 12 to 12 until 12. From 12 to 12 until 12. From 12 to 12 until 12. Small as come everywhere at the Herbert Beach up there. From 12 to 12 until 12. Lord, I think you do that. Daylight, touch your time. Reach out me for culture. Escape me to the world Virgin Island. The USA or Europe, you will like our style. For me, they will start the food in waste meat. Cause the food and drink, all that you can eat. And when the night rolling, music so sweet. You must find a young kitchen to sweep you up your
Bring the piece of the thing inside it.
Yo, King Nico!
Eh?
I want you to drop them hard this year, pump!
Get it! Small like spot, Miko, drop, some rebel jamming last year, Juve. They said the culture ain't much fun. They lie. Years ago they used to break away when soul survivors coming down. Get it! They say all the cultural flavor disappear from the Culturama. The festival is sweet, no more. On the street there's no folklore. So I ask them if there's a problem. How come so much people calling more? Here we more. Everybody shouting for encore. Yes, 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 yes. I'm Weber Herbert on the playground, bringing the children round and round. And at the end of the day when the show is done, everyone will have lots of fun. Oh, come, cause I'm 40 and I'm jolly. I'm 40, I'm full of energy. 40, 40, 40, 40. 40, 40, 40, 40. So come join the bacchanal. Herbert Beach bacchanal. All them street bacchanal. In the heat bacchanal. So come join the bacchanal. One radio bacchanal. The Kaiso bacchanal. The Queen Show bacchanal. Oh, get on, get on, get on, get on. Get on, get on, get on, get on. This a endless action. The whole and leave is broke down.
The views and opinions expressed on the preceding program were solely those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Nevis Broadcasting Company Limited or its advertisers. With all the